Hello, welcome to Free Maths Lessons. I'm gonna try and go through as many different questions as possible in this revision marathon. Now I can't find it. Looking at. Bear with me. There we go, found it. Right, let's get started. So we're gonna start with grade 3 to grade 4 questions before we move on to any other one. So these are the one that's on the borderline. So you can be working with foundation and the higher tier as well. So not necessarily just foundation. Getting used to this thing. So here's the first question. Again, when you're doing this, you can bug the question, generally read through it the first time and then read it again, trying to underline the or highlight the things that's really important, and then what the question's actually asking you for. So here it says a rectangular carpet measures 8 meter by 6 meters. There's only 2 marks. So when you're looking at a rectangular piece of carpet that's 8 by 6 meter, you want to work out the area of the piece of carpet, the rectangular piece of carpet. So that would get you 1 mark if you did 8 times 6, and we know that will give you 48 meters square. That's the area of this carpet here. And then it says part of the carpet is covered by the square rug of the length 2 meter. Now two things is important here. Square. What does that mean? It means this length here is exactly the same as this width. So if this is 2 meter, that's also 2 meter. And that's the important part. So is this 2 meter by 2 meter, a rug is placed on the carpet. So what's the area of this 2 meter by 2 meter rug? So we can work that out quickly. It's saying it's 2 meter by 2 meter, and that will give you 4 meters square. Now the question is show that means I need to show what is 1/12 of the carpet is covered by a rug. Okay, show that the 1/12 of the carpet is covered by the rug. Okay, so what is the area of a rug as a fraction of a carpet? So if you write that down, we're covering 4 meter square meters out of 48 square meters. So if you simplify that, that gives you 1/12, and that will get you the second mark, saying okay, so 4 meter per square out of 48 meters square will give you 1/12. So always be careful with those things. Okay, and again I would go back and read the question again. Show that the 1/12 of the carpet is covered by the rug. So I worked out the area of carpet, which is 48, and area of square rug, which is 4, and 4 meters square is 1/12 of 48. So you can do that as well, saying 1/12 multiplied by 48 is equal to 4. There's another way you can show that. Question 2. Again, these are all grade 3 to grade 4 questions, and these are all common sense type of questions. So in a school shows boys to girls ratio is 1:1. So that means for every 1 girl there is a 1 boy. That's how the school boys to girl ratios there are. So if we work out the number of girls there are, you can work out the number of the boys there are, or either way. Okay, girls who sings 2, girls who do not sing is 1:2. So that means for every 1 girl who sings there are 2 girls who doesn't sing. So if I wanted to work out anything, I can again use that factor. So girls who sings are 8. 8 girls sings in the show. So how many girls do not sing? So if you have girls who sings goes from 1 to 8, that means I'm multiplying this side by 8, and that shows me that there are 16 girls that does not sing. Okay, so how many girls there are altogether? 8 girls who sings and the 16 girls who do not sing. So we have 8 add 20. What am I doing? 8 add 16, and that gives you 24. So there are 24 girls altogether. There are 24 girls altogether. Okay, so there are 8 who sings and 16 who do not sing. Now remember, girls to boy ratio is 1 to 1. That means for every one girl who sings, there are one boy there is. Okay, sorry, not doesn't matter whether they sing or not. For every one girl, there is a one boy. So if you have 24 girls, that means there are 24 boys. So what the question is, how many students are there altogether in the show? So there are 24 girls altogether and 24 boys. So altogether we have 24 plus 24, that is 48 students. Again, anything you do, any calculation you do, make sure you write it down. Now, whether you write it down in the questions or whether you write it down in the space here, okay? Make sure you write everything you do in the space provided. Don't keep anything in your head. That's another key things you always have to do when you're sitting an exam. Any questions, please let me know. Okay, although I can't see who's watching and who's making a comments here, but any question you need to let me know. Question 3. Question 3, that's what we're looking at here. A pack of cards has 72. Pack of cards that has 72. Pack of cards. Remember, this one is not a standard pack of cards. Since you're not looking at the standard pack of cards, we have been given the number of cards in that pack is 72 cards, and it's saying 5/9 are yellow. Generally, if you're talking about pack of cards, we're talking about 52 playing cards, but remember that's not is the case. It's 72 cards, and it's saying 5/9 are yellow. Work out the number of yellow cards. Remember, this is a non-calculator paper that you're going to be saying tomorrow, so you need to be looking at it that way. So we're saying 5/9 of the cards are yellow. Work out the number of yellow cards. All I'm doing is working out 5/9 of 72. So I need to be doing that calculation. 5/9 multiplied by 72. You get 1 mark even if you just write that down. 5/9 of 72. Then if you've not done this before, remember you want to work out 5/9. So if you can shade 5/9 of a shape, any shape, okay, you are almost there. So this represents 72. And if you're looking for nines, you need to cut entire things into 9 equal parts. So that's 1, 2, 3, go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I need to rub this out. I don't know how am I going to do that, but I need to do, because it's otherwise it's not the right size. So that's 9 equal parts. Imagine they are equal. My drawing skills are not obviously that great. So imagine they are equal here. we're cutting 72 into 9 equal parts. So if you cut 72, this entire thing is 72 into 9 equal parts, what you get? 72 divided by 9. How many 9 goes into 72? Answer is 8. So each one of these ninth is 8. And I need 5 of those because I need 5 9. This is, remember, 1 ninth there, a 2 ninth, 3 ninth, 4 ninth, and 5 ninth. So I need these 5 of these, okay? So 8 times 5, that gives you 40. So 5 ninth of 72 is equal to 40. You can always work through it like this, okay? And it's 2 marks. Divide 62 in the ratio 3 to 7. Just bear with me a few minutes. This is a very similar question to what we just done earlier again, because it's all grade 3 questions. So it is likely that all of these questions are going to be slightly similar in a way, okay? And these are all non-calculator paper, and you can see these are the common one that's going to come up every time we do these things. So the first thing we need to do, look at this, is like, imagine there are 62 pounds. You're sharing 62 pounds between two groups on the left hand side, or imagine you get paid 62 pounds for doing some job that took you 10 hours. Now you two are friends, like say person A did 3 hours, person B did 7 hours. So obviously A and B not gonna get 31 pound each. So person who did 3 hours, they should get the money for the hour they worked. So altogether, first thing you want to do, how many hours or how many parts there are altogether. So we're going to do that by doing 3 add 7. That gives you 10 parts, or they work for 10 hours altogether. And how much money did they get paid? They get paid 62 pound per hour in a way. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take that 62 pound and divide it into 10 equal parts. That gives you 6.2. They get paid 6.2 per hour. And once you figure that out, they get paid 6.2 pound per hour. Then all we're doing is using that. So someone who works, so 6 pound and 20p. Okay. Someone who works 3 hours, you do 6 pound and 20p times 3. So that will be 6 pound, 12 pound, and 18 pound, and 20, 40, and 60. So that gives you 18 pound and 60 pence. Okay. 2 18 pound and 60 pence. You're getting used to this. And then someone who works the 7 hours, obviously the remaining money from the 62 pound will go to the someone who works for 7 pounds. So you can look at it again, same as 6 times table. 7 times 6 is 42, and 7 times 2 is 1 pound 40. So we get 40 pence and 43 pound. So that's the share that we get. Okay, so we get 1860 and 43.40. They should add up to 62. That's a check that you need to always run. Write down 0.85 as a fraction in its simplest form. 0.85. You can always look at the place values. Okay, so again, remember you have units, then you always have decimal after the units. Before the units, you'll have tens, and then after the units, we'll have 1/10. Okay, and then you get 100, and so on. So we got 0 unit, 8/10, and 500. So if you wanted to look at it, you can look at it in terms of the fractions. So the 8 lots of 10th. Come on, man. Sorry. 8 lots of 10. So we get 8/10. That's how many tenths we have. Plus, we have 500. If anything, you should be able to add this fraction. Get the denominator same. That means I'm multiplying the bottom number by 10, so it gives you 100. Multiply top number by 10 gives you 80. So we already knew that you would have 8500. 0.85 is actually 8500. Okay, 8/10 and 500, that gives you 85 over 100. Now we can change that into simplified fraction. You get 1 mark because remember this has been given to you here, saying you must write it in the simplest form. So you need to simplify it. If number ends with 5 and the number ends with 0, you can always divide it by 5. So how many 5 goes into 85? So I would generally do 8.5 and double it. That gives you 17. And how many 5 goes into 100? So again, decimal before the 10, so 10.0 double that is 20. So 17 over 20, and that's the simplest it can get. 17 is a prime number, so we know we cannot simplify that further, and obviously 17 doesn't go into 20. This is a tricky question for the grade 3 and for foundation level in a way, okay? Not everyone be able to answer this kind of questions. So for grade 3, this is tricky. But if you start looking at it and believe that you can do this question and spend enough time with it, generally what it requires is, even the most difficult problem requires you to spend a little bit longer on it. It's not as difficult as people think it is, but just requires your time, that you spend a little longer on that question to answer that question. That's all we're looking at here. So if I were you, I would look for the few simple things here. Say, that's given, this is given. Show that the 9a plus 3b is greater value than 3x plus 4y. Now, I don't know any one of those. I know 3a plus b, but look at this. There is a connection here. 3a to 9a is triple the amount. b to 3b is triple the amount. So this value has to be 3 times this value. If 3a plus b is 7, then we can write this down here as 3 times 3a plus b. Remember, if you do that, that gives you 9a plus 3b. And we know what that is. This is exactly equal to 7. So we just need to work out 3 times 7, and that gives you 21. So we know 9a plus 3b gives you 21. Similar things happens here. Look at this connection. 6x to 3x. We're dividing it by 2. 8y to 4y. Again, dividing it by 2. So work out the value of this one here. I need to divide this 40 by 2. So we know that 3x plus 4y is going to be half of this 40 here. So that will give you 20. And once you know this is going to be 20 there, and you can compare it. This is 21, that's 20. So we showed it already. We're saying, okay, 21 is bigger than 20. 21 this has a greater value than this. And you get 2 marks for doing that. Vectors. Vectors are nothing but the direction and the length. Vectors are nothing but the direction and the length. What's that? Who's spamming this comments? Right. So what it means here, this is a vector A. That means you go 3, 2. What it actually means is you're going 3 across and 2 up to go from there to there. So we already know the direction is going into the positive x direction and the positive y direction. You're going 3 that way and 2 that way from there. And that gives you the size as well. This is the size of this vector A. Okay. Now we're saying work out the 4 times A. So if you make this line 4 times bigger, what would it be? That means I'll be going 4 times that way. So 3 times 4. And I'm going to be going 4 times that way. So it makes this line 4 times bigger. Okay. So there, another that one, 3 and 4. So you will be going 3 times 4. So you're going 12 across. And 2 times 3, that gives you 6 across. Sorry. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 across. So 3 times 4 and 2 times 8. So this is our vector. 12 across and 8 up. So 4A is going to be 12 across, because we did times this by 4. Okay, 3 times 4 is 12 and 8 up. That's it. I'm going to be moving up onto the higher as well. So these are all grade 4 questions now as soon as you get into the vectors. So saying add vector A plus C is equal to 3, 0. So what is that vector C? Work out the C as a column vector. So we already knew the vector A here given to us, 3, 2. So I'm going to write it down. Okay. So we got 3, 2 plus something gives you 3, 0. So obviously if you add 3 to something and it gives you the 3, so you can only add the horizontal distance together and the vertical distance together. So if I'm adding nothing to 3, obviously you're going to get 3. And then you're saying 2 add something gives you 0. So 2 add what gives you 0? That has to be negative 2. 2 add negative 2 gives you 0. So which of these vector will give you this one here? And that's your answer. So this vector A is this one and this is vector C. So when I do vector A, add vector C, it gives me this as an answer. So we found our answer is here. Again, there are 4 options. You have 25% chance of getting that questions correct. If you get it correct, then that's 1 mark. So even if you had no idea how to answer this question, you should always have a go at answering the question. Never leave it blank. Circle one of those answers. You could be having 1 mark off the grade 4 and you can get that grade 4 and you get it correct by mistakes. Okay, so by a chance. So even by looking at the chances, you have a quarter of a chance or 25% chance of getting it correct. Again, I prefer that you have a go at these questions when you're doing it with me or looking through that. Draw the graph of y equal to 3x minus 1 for the values of x from negative 1 to 3. So that's reason they give you this for the values of x, because you got the x value here. Look, this is x-axis and it ranges from negative 1 all the way to 3. So that's why. And it's saying this is 5 for the graph we need to draw. There's 2 different ways of doing this graph. If you're doing a higher tier paper, that's really straightforward. You always compare it with y equal to mx plus c. So c is your y-intercept. In this case is minus 1. So this is where your graph will be crossing your y-axis, the minus 1. That. Okay. So that's the y-axis. This is where our graph would be crossing the y-axis, -1. What also means is when you make x equal to 0, y value would be -1. So that's our point. X is 0, y is -1. What else do we need? We need the gradient. M is a gradient. That's a change in y divided by change in x. So what's the change in y? That's 3 divided by change in x, which is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. So that means if I move 1 across from here, okay, I should be going 3 places up. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So this is where my another point is. And once you find 2 points on the graph, you can pinch those 2 points and draw a straight line through that. So if I wanted to draw a straight line through this one, I don't know why it's always do that. Okay, you draw a line. Again, you need ruler for this. Okay, try not to do it freehand. And so on. Obviously, mine not without ruler. I tried to do it. I can't put ruler on this touchscreen. So this is why it turns out to be like this. So this is the graph. That's it. You put those 2 points and you can do it. And if you don't know how this works, you can do it differently, which is you draw the tables of value. We've been asked to do the tables of value for x value that ranges from -1 to 3. So you put x equal to -1, work out what y is. 0, work out what y is. 1, 2, and 3. Work out those values for these specific x values. Okay. Yes. What do you want, Nulu? No, I'm doing work. No, no.